Hi, in today's vlog, we are going to see about the exploration that I did around this Savandurga and Manchinbele road. This trip happened on 11th of August. It was a Tuesday. This motor vlog is all about how the ride was and what all I got to see and what all I got to photograph. So let's get started. Good morning, welcome back. This is Creator on Wheels and I am Shiv. It's 11th of August, Tuesday. It's a holiday today, so I just thought I'll take my bike out and go for a short ride. Anyway, life has just come down to a situation wherein we just have to rely on short rides rather than long journeys. Situation still not very favorable to go out of district or out of state yet. So the plan today was to ride towards west. This is Magadi road where I am right now. It's been quite some time that I had come on this road, so I thought let me explore this place once again, but this time on a bike instead of a car. The place has changed a lot since the last I've come here. The Tipkonalli reservoir here used to be a regular weekend hangout for macro photography or bird photography, but I have not visited here since quite some time now. Anyway, the plan is to cross Tipkonalli and then take a deviation towards Savandurga, go towards Ramanagara, and then back on Mysore road and towards Bangalore. I've checked the maps last night. The route looks interesting and most importantly scenic. Let's see if it holds up to that expectation. This stretch where I'm riding now, it used to be like literally empty, like hardly any houses or any buildings for that matter. Forget about houses or anything. Hardly any buildings here. Like a decade back when we used to come here like quite literally every single weekend. Now I see more buildings than any farmland or anything. Anyway, let's see how things goes. Stay tuned. I'll probably keep coming on and off and updating you where I am and what is that you guys are seeing. So enjoy the ride. So the initial plan which I did on the previous day, which was on the Monday evening, was to basically go through this particular region on the Google Maps. I was very specific about visiting TG Halli, Tipkonalli reservoir. In past, like 10-12 years back, we used to go there every single weekend for doing photography, like birding or even macro photography. So, and we used to take our car all the way up till the waterbed. So I wanted to do that. I wanted to see if I can go and actually take my bike all the way to the water. But I had not been here since 10 years now, and things had changed a lot, and I didn't even get to identify the place where we were supposed to take a ride. So the main plan was to explore this area and then go towards Savandurga hills and drive on the road which connects Magadi to Ramanagara via that Manchinbele road, which is supposed to be very scenic, and it's more like more foresty kind of an area. So that was the whole plan, and the ride started off like this. So in the very beginning itself, whatever you can call it, like my weakness or whatever, I started to bump into a lot of places which caught my attention, where I thought like I'll take some photos. So this was one of the first ones which I bumped into. I was just riding and I just noticed this particular arch to probably that area or a temple which had this huge Hanuman statue on top of it. I somehow, as soon as I saw it, I felt that it makes a good photo for whatever reasons. I just stopped here, and what started here throughout this ride in the morning, I kept on stopping at every other place. Somewhere here I need to take a right turn which will go all the way up to the lake. I might want to stop and check where that place is. So when I actually started off, as I told you, I wanted to go and ride towards the lake, and I knew there are at least like two roads which leads to the lake. The first one I couldn't even identify where it was. This was a road which we used to take way back in the time. I couldn't even get that when I was riding, and for whatever reason I didn't use my phone while riding with Google Maps on. But the second road, which was supposed to go all the way up to the lake, when I actually reached this entrance of this road, I realized it's a private road. It's something belongs to the government, maybe related to the BWSSB, and there was like a gate and there was a watchman also here, so which kind of like prevented me from even taking the risk of going in that road and figuring it out whether it can actually reach that particular TG Halli reservoir. So I decided, okay, let me not waste time doing anything here. I proceeded further. I started exploring things around this TG Halli itself. So I eventually took this left turn on at Magadi junction, wherein it was going towards Ramanagara, and even the previous day itself I had made a note that I have to take one more left turn on this road, which will then go and connect to this Savandurga-Manchinbele road. So I took this deviation left turn just before Magadi. This is the Ramanagara road, and apparently it's the same road which kind of goes till it goes via Savandurga. Beautiful weather today. But for whatever reason, this road was so beautiful, and this whole view of the Savandurga hill covered in the clouds or whatever in the morning, it kept on distracting me, and I somehow missed taking this left turn which I was supposed to. So what you find right in front of you, that's the Savandurga hill. It's completely covered in clouds apparently. I'm not sure if you will be able to see it properly from this far and on the super view of GoPro, but probably will show you a better picture when I go closer to the place. That right there is Savandurga. and I think I probably went ahead by about 3-4 kilometers even before I realized that I had not taken the left turn. Eventually I found out a point wherein I can actually take a left turn, and this was a route through a village which leads to this Savandurga-Manchinbele road. And initially it was all fields, but when I went closer I realized that I had to pass through a village. Just to make sure that I'm on the right track, I started speaking to few villages and asking if I'm going on the right track, and they told that I am, and they just told me to follow a certain path, which I did. It was all fine until now, because the villagers were directing me in the correct direction, but the biggest adventure started, and this lasted for about some 500 meters or more, wherein I had to go through the small patch of road which was literally inexistent, and you can actually see the amount of struggle I had navigating through all the potholes and all those stuff. Literally, as I say, it's an inexistent road. By the end of it, it led to a small patch of land which had a beautiful tree cover, and the silence here was literally amazing. I just stopped here, switched off my bike, and all that I could hear was bird sound, and most specifically peacock calls. And I just stopped here for a while. Not only that, I took a few photographs here, but I also spent 5-10 minutes just sitting there on my bike, and I was just enjoying this, what you can call it as peace or tranquility. And later on I realized that I have to keep moving because I didn't want to stop anywhere where there are people, and this was like almost like in the border of that village, as you could see. And I moved on, and hardly another 150 meters from here was the main junction where I had to take the turn, which had to go through the forest. So this is exactly the road that I was waiting for to ride on. So this was exactly the way I expected it to be. From whatever I saw in the Google Maps, it was like completely as if you're driving or riding through the forest, and it was a beautiful, mesmerizing experience. And the ride was so blissful that I was just like at one moment thinking like, what if it rains now? It will be really fun to ride, because it was an empty road, hardly any people on this road. It would have been really a lot of fun to experience riding in rain in this road. I mean, this is no Western Ghats. We are still talking about outskirts of Bangalore, but I really wished it had rained for at least like 5-10 minutes through my ride there. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. But I definitely enjoyed my ride through this stretch. So I was almost at the end of this particular forest stretch, and I knew that going forward it would be all village, or probably I'm going closer towards Ramanagara. And at this point of time I just realized that okay, fine, I'll let me take one more break wherein I just sip a water and probably spend some time sitting, because it was so silent and it was really something which I wanted to be in nature and experience all these things, because all through the weekday you're into all this chaos of work and meetings and all those stuff. So I just sat here for some time. I had my chocolate, enjoyed the view, the fields and the mountains, everything, and also managed to pull out one video which you would have already seen about this small tank bag that I'm using in this particular ride. And after that I proceeded further, and there was just one more stop that I did after this, and this was at a place wherein I was taking the photograph of my bike, and one guy reached out to me and he told like he had been following me since some time and he just noticed my bike. I was surprised that he told that he was following me, because I didn't see anyone behind me or in front of me while I was riding, but he told that he noticed me and he was coming for some time, and he told that he got attracted towards the bike and he was asking me like how much it is and when did I take and all those stuff. And then he got on to tell that interesting story wherein he opened his phone and he started showing photos. So this guy apparently has about 7 vintage bikes, and out of that one of them is a Lambretta scooter, and he has 6 bikes. And of the 6, I think he has about 5 of them which are variations of Jawa, like Road King, the original Jawa, the Jawa Perak kind of a bike and everything. All of this he has purchased it like second hand or third hand, which were like literally from the scrap, or like people who had discarded their bikes. He spent time and money to rebuild all of them, and all of them were in working conditions and it looked like spanking new. The chrome were like shining and all. So he showed all the photos and he told like how passionate he was about this whole thing about rebuilding bikes and all. So I asked him where he is from and what he does. So he told me that he is from a place called Malvalli, which is quite close to, I would say, Madur, or somewhere close to Chamarajanagar and Mysore region. And I was asking like, what does he do here? So this guy was apparently a BMTC bus driver who, when he is not working, he takes up some job related to construction wood material supply or something like that. So he had come to collect some payments in Magadi, and he was going back to Malvalli on his bike, and that's when he noticed me riding my Java, and which caught his attention, and he wanted to have a word with me. So it's nice to bump into such people when you're riding, and it's quite frequently that whenever I'm riding, at least I meet one person who comes and asks something about the bike, and he has something to tell about the bike. Maybe it's a reference to the olden movies where they had seen Java, or some relation they have towards Mysore, or whatever it is. But it was a fantastic conversation. But I just realized after the previous break, I was so engrossed in like seeing and witnessing and doing all those things, I had totally forgot recording anything. So I had almost stopped recording the previous spot itself, and I just realized it after I came back home that I didn't record anything, any of this conversation also. But all these are memories. I don't regret not recording all this stuff, but I really enjoyed this whole ride and this whole experience, and especially meeting this person who was so passionate about restoring old bikes, and how excited he was about seeing a newer version of the bike that he already owns. So this was it. This was one short, probably I would say like 75-80 kilometer ride, just outside of the city. It was not meant to be like a longer ride. I just wanted to go out and spend a couple of hours or more. I think I spent about 3 hours, including all the longer photography breaks. So this was the trail that I did, which is between Magadi, Savandurga and Ramanagara. A beautiful place, a beautiful route if you really want to try out. Definitely something which you can do on a bike, or even probably even on a bicycle. You'll definitely enjoy this route. Thank you so much for having me as a part of your day. If you enjoyed watching this video, then why not hit the like button, and if you haven't already, or if you're new here, then please do consider supporting this channel by subscribing and clicking the notification bell. So until we meet next time, take care, bye bye.